Hello and welcome to my Championship Game Week 16 predictions. If you do like the Championship predictions, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. We've got Philip Clement's first game as Norwich manager going to Birmingham, Ipswich, Wrexham in there as well as Charlton, Southampton. Nathan Jones playing or managing against Southampton this time around as he previously did manage there. So yeah, let's just dive straight into my Game Week 16 Championship predictions. Let's head straight into Friday night's fixture then, and it is Preston taking on Blackburn at Deepdale. Two contrasting starts to the season for these two. Preston started really well, Blackburn started really horribly, but Blackburn have picked up in recent weeks, still sit 19th in the table, but have had a couple of good wins under Valerian Ismail, despite losing to Derby last time out. And they beat Bristol City, Leicester and Southampton in their two parachute teams. Very, very good win for very good wins for Blackburn. They came up against John Eustace's Derby, who was I always thought they were going to beat Blackburn on that one. Preston before the international break drew away, 1-1 at Millwall. Did beat Swansea before that. Did beat Southampton away as well. Good result at St Mary's. And beating Sheffield United at home. They did lose to Birmingham in a midweek fixture as well. In there, Preston do look good at home, third in the table at home, and Blackburn sit fifth away. So yeah, Blackburn's away form is pretty good and should not should be taken into account, despite how good it is actually up in the playoffs for their away form. Head-to-heads look like this. 2-1 home win for Blackburn over Preston on 31st of January, 0-0 draw back on the 22nd of September. I'm narrowly going to back a Preston win in this one. I think Blackburn might struggle in this one. I'm just going to back Preston by 2-1 at home in this Lancashire crunch clash between Preston and Blackburn. So yeah, 2-1 to Preston in this little local derby. Into the 12:30 kickoffs we go, and it's the Bristol City Swansea game, the classic. That always ends in a 1-1 draw. Although it didn't end in a 1-1 draw last time. It was 1-0 away win for Swansea, 1-1 back on the 29th of September. Always a cagey tight affair is this one between Bristol City and Swansea. Bristol City haven't been great at Ashton Gate this season. They've definitely been better on the road, it has to be said. Similar for Swansea, they've been better at home as well. So yeah, two sides that aren't really favoured on each turf at the moment. Bristol City drawing to Watford before the international break. Swansea getting battered by Ipswich and losing Alan Sheehan, the manager. I don't think they've brought anybody in as of yet. I think Alan Sheehan was sacked, as we know, but yeah, don't think they've got a replacement lined up as of yet. I am going to back Bristol City just because of that. I'm going to back a 2-1 home Bristol City win. I know going a bit boring with 2-1s at the moment. It's probably not like the Championship, but yeah, I'm going to back Bristol City to win by 2-1 over Swansea in this one. Now, Charlton against Southampton at the Valley, and Nathan Jones will be managing his old team, or managing against his old team, Southampton, which should be a fun affair. This one, it'd be better at St Mary's, see what reception Nathan Jones got. I don't think it wouldn't be too bad, despite the situation Southampton were in at the time. They did Southampton back-to-back wins for them at the moment. 3-1 over Sheffield Wednesday, 2-1 over QPR. Yes, two sides that are kind of out of form at the moment, but they'll take that, and it's given them a great confidence booster. Charlton losing away at Wrexham in a bit of a scrappy affair. Josh Windass with the only penalty in that one. Last time he says did play was in 2011, was a 2-0 home win for Southampton over Charlton and a 1-1 draw at Charlton, I believe. So yeah, this one's a bit of a difficult one to call. Charlton have been okay at the Valley so far this season. They take on a Southampton side under Tonda Eka. Might get the job full time if they win this, I think. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I'm backing Charlton to win this by 1-0. I was thinking about going with the 2-1 win again, but I'm going to back a 1-0 win for Charlton in this one. I think it'll be another cagey affair, and I think Nathan Jones will want to get a scrappy 1-0 win over the Saints in this one against his former side. So yeah, back in Charlton to beat Southampton by 1-0 in this one. Well, this could finally be the nail in the coffin for Ryan Mason if they do lose at Coventry or lose at the CBS in this one. Coventry absolutely flying at the moment, plus 27 goal difference. That is miles clear of everybody else. The 6 points clear, or 5 points clear, sorry, at the top of the Championship. 7 points back down to third, which is Stoke. Got a massive win over Stoke before the international break by 1-0 with Mason Clark's winner in that one. Great way to finish the game for Coventry City in that one. Last time they did play, West Brom was a 2-0 home win for Coventry City in that one. They've actually struggled recently in head-to-heads. They'd have only won 2 of the last 9 meetings between the two sides. 2-0 West Brom back on the 11th of December, 1st of March. West Brom beat them at the Hawthorns as well in 2024. West Brom also beat them on the last two previous occasions to that. So yeah, West Brom do have a good head-to-head record against Coventry. It will be the Championship if West Brom went and won this. Coventry have been impeccable so far this season, and they are not going to stop because they're going to win this by 3-1. This will be the end of Ryan Mason. He'll be walking out the door, and Coventry are going to beat West Bromwich Albion by 3-1 in this one. So, yeah, not 3-0, 3-1 in this one. So, yeah, Coventry to get another win under Frank Lampard and continue their domination at the top of the Championship. Into the 3 o'clock as we go, and it is Birmingham Norwich, which is the first one. Philippe Clement's first game in charge of Norwich City. Will be interesting to see what happens. It always happens with us, I swear. Always happens. A new manager comes in and plays us. It hasn't happened in a while, but yeah, it has happened before quite a lot recently. I think in League One it kind of happened when we went on that bad run a little bit in November, I think. But anyway, we did lose. Birmingham did lose away at Middlesbrough by 2-1. Norwich did lose at home to Leicester, but new manager, forget all that. Birmingham did come onto that Middlesbrough game with back-to-back 4-0 wins over Portsmouth and Millwall, respectively. Head-to-head record, Birmingham did win this fixture on the final day of the 2024 season, just not to be enough, and they did go down. 1-0 win in that one. Paik Sung-ho, the only goal scorer back on the 30th of September, was a 2-0 home win for Norwich City in that one. 9 wins for Norwich, 4 draws, 2 wins for Birmingham. On the head-to-head record, Birmingham sit 11th in the table, Norwich sit 23rd. Yeah, Birmingham's home form is 7th in the table. Norwich's away form isn't too bad, sat in 12th. Their home form is absolutely dreadful for Liam Mannix Norwich in this one. Very tough one to call this, but I'm just going to back Birmingham, I think. Just narrowly, I'm going for a 2-1 home victory. I know Norwich will be quite spurred up for this, or jumped up for this, as they have a new manager in the dugout. So, but yeah, I'm just going to back Birmingham in this one just due to the home form, and they usually win. Only lost to Hull so far this season at home have Birmingham. So yeah, 2-1 home win for Birmingham over Norwich in this one. Derby versus Watford now, and John Eustace's side have been on an absolute flying form at the moment, winning their last 5 matches. Javi Gracia's Watford, one more draw before the international break against Bristol City on the Friday night. They also got a decent point at Portman Road away to Ipswich. Derby have beaten Norwich, QPR, Sheffield United, Hull and Blackburn. Not exactly the best teams, but you've got to beat what's in front of you. And that's what John Eustace and Derby are doing so far. Watford's away form is absolutely honking, and it is at the bottom of the table, so would not be surprised if Derby won another game here. 2-0 away win for Watford. Last time they did play on the 18th of January. 2-1 home win for Watford on the 24th of August as well. They do have a pretty good head-to-head record against Derby. 1-7, drawn 1, lost 6. Actually, it's fairly even, isn't it? Between these two sides, I am going to back John Eustace's Derby in this one for 2-0 home victory in this one. I think Derby just looking really good at the moment under John Eustace on flying form. Carlton Morris is banging the goals in as well. So yeah, back at Derby by 2-0 over Watford in this one. Another cracker of a game as Ipswich take on Wrexham at Portman Road. Ipswich beating, well, their last 2 away matches have been 4-1 away wins at QPR and Swansea. Wrexham did beat Charlton last time out by a 1-0 as well. 13th versus 7th, only 2 points separating. Wrexham could jump Ipswich if they do win this. No head-to-heads to base off on this one. Ipswich sits 7th, Wrexham sits 13th, as we previously just spoken about. Ipswich doing well recently, sacking off Alan Sheehan in the process. 2 own goals from Cameron Burgess in their ex-Ipswich man, maybe putting the goals in on purpose in his own net in that one. Jack Clark been amazing, probably one of Ipswich's best players so far this season. Yeah, the defence has been pretty good at Greaves and at O'Shea. Wrexham, on the other hand, Kiefer Moore's been banging the goals in for them, beating Charlton and Coventry of recent times. Gonna back an Ipswich win, I think. I think they'll win this quite comfortably. Wrexham's away form does not concern me, or does concern me a bit. Yeah, Ipswich will win this 3-1 quite comfortably at home. Wrexham don't look great away from home. But saying that, they did start quite well away from home. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Ipswich will win this 3-1 quite comfortably for Kieran McKenna's boys in this one. Leicester take on Stoke now at the King Power, and this could be Marti Cifuentes' nail in the coffin if they do lose this. Stoke very unlucky before the international break to lose to Coventry City in that manner. Leicester did beat Norwich, good win for them, up to 12th in the table. Not really where Leicester fans would want them at the start of the season. It looks like they are going to avoid that points deduction as well. Last ended play, Stoke was a 5-0 away win for Leicester City over Stoke on the 3rd of February 2024. 2-0 home win for Leicester over Stoke on the 7th of October back at the King Power. 7 wins for Leicester, 4 draws and 2 wins for Stoke on this occasion. Stoke City sit 3rd in the table, Leicester sit 12th at the moment. This would be the end of Cifuentes if they did win this. Stoke did win this, and I feel like Mark Robbins has got them clicking. He's got them playing some beautiful football. As I said, they were really unlucky in that Coventry City game. It was amazing Clark Worldy that won it for them. 7th versus 2nd, or it's not 7th, it's 12th versus 3rd. I'm looking at the away form. Stoke are going to win this 2-1 away from home, and that will be the end of Marti Cifuentes, unfortunately for him. So yeah, Stoke and Mark Robbins to get another win and get a big win over Leicester in this one by 2 goals to 1. Oxford United take on Middlesbrough then, and Middlesbrough without Rob Edwards in our first game. See how that clicks in as a reaction. They did beat Birmingham before the international break when there was no Rob Edwards in the dugout, but I think that this is a completely different game away at Oxford. Oxford very difficult to beat under Gary Rowett, especially at home, although they did kind of collapse against Stoke, which wasn't great to watch. Tough one to call. 2nd, Middlesbrough sit but no manager. 21st sit Oxford. At the moment, Oxford's home form is obviously going to be better than their away form. In the Championship, it's a bit like Plymouth a couple of seasons ago, or last season, I should say. Oxford sit 20th in the home table. Middlesbrough still look very good away from home. Won't be surprised if they came and rolled over Oxford. It would be quite funny if Gareth Southgate went in at Middlesbrough, but I don't think that's going to happen. Adrian Vivash is the manager at the moment. Haven't really heard of him. I don't think many Borough fans will have heard of him. Do let me know if you do know who he is. I assume you know he's part of your club, obviously, but he will be lesser known. Middlesbrough did win this last season 2-1. They also beat Oxford 6-2 in there as well. And go back Middlesbrough for another 2-0 away victory in this one. I think they'll still play similarly to what they did before the international break. The style of play doesn't go out the players' heads, for example. So yeah, 2-0 to Middlesbrough over Oxford in this one. Portsmouth versus Millwall then at Fratton Park. And this game was one of the few games Portsmouth lost at home last year to Millwall by 1-0. Millwall have a great head-to-head record, 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 win for Portsmouth in there, so they know what they're doing against Portsmouth. Portsmouth haven't won in a while. They got battered at Birmingham before the international break. They drew at home to Wrexham, lost away at Hull in there as well. Millwall did draw to Preston, lost to Birmingham 4-0. The wheels did start to fall off the bus towards the end of that international break. Only 2 points in the 3-game week as well is never great. Mentioned the head-to-heads, 2-1 Millwall on the 5th of April, and then they did the double over Portsmouth last season by beating them by 1-0. 6th versus 20th, tough one to call. Portsmouth can be okay at home when they want to be. I think Millwall's away form is not amazing, despite that. Well, with that 4-0 loss away at Birmingham, I am going to back a draw in this one. I'm going to back a 2-2 draw between these two. There's usually a few goals when these two sides are involved, although it wasn't the case last season. So yeah, back a 2-2 draw between Portsmouth and Millwall in this one. Now into probably what is the worst match of the day on the Saturday in the Championship, and that is QPR versus Hull. Could be the worst all weekend, to be honest. QPR versus Hull. Two sides that, well, Hull are playing all right at the moment, so they probably should get the win in this one. QPR did get a decent point, or is it a decent point, away at Sheffield United before the international break. They lost at Southampton at home, to Ipswich at home as well. Hull did beat Portsmouth in what was quite a fun game to watch, or fun game on the highlights to watch anyway, with Joseph and Gelhardt chipping in, with Devlin getting a brace as well for Portsmouth in there as well. 2-1 away when last time QPR did play Hull at the MKM. 6 wins for QPR, 5 draws, 9 wins for Hull. Tough one to call this. 5th sit Millwall, 16th are Queen's Park Rangers at the moment. Tough one to call this, but I am probably going to back a... You know what? I'm going to back QPR to win this. I'm going to go for a 1-0 home win for Queen's Park Rangers in this one, just to narrowly get over the line against Hull City in this one. So yeah, backing QPR to beat Hull by a 1-0 in this one might come as a surprise and a bit of a shock, but QPR to win this by a 1-0. Now into the Sheffield derby between Sheffield Wednesday, or the Steel City derby, I should say, not the Sheffield derby. Steel City derby between Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United, of course. Sheffield United probably would think this is a rollover. I don't think it is the way Sheffield United have been playing as of late. I think it could be another tight, scrappy affair like it was last season in 1-0 favour of Sheffield United in each game at Hillsborough and at Bramall Lane. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday have only won this game once in the last few years. 4 times a draw, 3 times a Sheffield United away win. It's not been the greatest derby. I mean, the last 3 before the last season's games were all 0-0s, and there was a 4-2 away win for Sheffield United in the Sheffield Wednesday's last win in this derby came in League One in 2012 on the 26th of February. Long time ago, where Chris O'Grady got the goal. So yeah, I think this will be a pretty routine win for Sheffield United. I'm going to back them for a nice 2-0 away victory at Hillsborough. I'm sure Hillsborough will be rocking, I would imagine, despite, well, Chansiri is not owning the club, is he, anymore? So, yeah, Sheffield United to win this 2-0, despite Hillsborough being packed out, I would imagine. So, yeah, Sheffield United to win this by 2-0 over Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching my Championship Game Week 16 predictions. If you did like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, and I'll speak to you on the next one, which will be Premier League predictions tomorrow, so don't forget to stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll speak to you all on the next one.